Hey Scorpio, I'm back in August to give you guys your August reading. And I'm going to tell you, like I told everyone else, that this energy in August is quite intense, especially for the fixed signs. We have the North and South Node in the fixed signs of Leo and Aquarius. So, as a fixed sign, you will definitely be feeling these energies of the universe very strongly. So, we have about 30 minutes to do your reading today. And what I thought is best is, I took some notes here on the side. So I'm like, if you see me looking over, I'm not like trying to avoid you. I'm just looking at these notes that I have here because there's a lot going on. And for Scorpio, I have these notes here. It says there's a full moon lunar eclipse happening. We all have this happening, but just in different houses. So you have a full moon in your fourth house because this full moon lunar eclipse is happening on August 7th in Aquarius. Okay, there's a full moon. It's not like any other full moon. Okay, there's people saying that these eclipses happening this month can affect us up until 19 months. I mean 19 years. 19 months is even serious, but it's 19 years. So this energy is very, very potent. So if you count Scorpio, Sag, Capricorn, Aquarius, Aquarius is your fourth house, which has to do with your emotional stability, your emotional environment, how secure you are with your emotions, because the fourth house is ruled by Cancer, a water sign. The fourth house is all about your home, though, straight up. It's about your home environment. So I think the best way to do this is kind of break it down, and we'll play off of the energy that comes out for you. But to get it started, we're going to go ahead and just call on the universe for messages for Scorpio. This is for Scorpio, specifically that full moon lunar eclipse. Is this for you, Scorp? We'll see. It kind of stuck out. I'm getting slap happy with your guys' reading, but let's get some clear messages for Scorpio. Accurate accurate messages about this fourth house energy. Scorpio. Ooh, I have some some cards trying to pop up here. Clear messages for Scorpio about the supermoon happening in Aquarius on the 7th. Is there any other messages? We have a card on the table. Okay. Is there anything else, Spirit? Okay. All right. Interesting. So the first card that popped out, Scorpio, is the Four of Pentacles. In this card, it depicts a man who's like borderline selfish, but there's a lot going on here. We see this man, and you see that the town is far away from him. He's come way far away, like on the top of a building somewhere, to like get his picture taken or something. And he's getting his picture taken with these pinnacles, right? He's so happy about these pinnacles. And this may be you, Scorpio. You could be working, and you could be, pinnacles represent anything of value. It represents anything, that we find pretty much personally value. So it could be money, it could be finances, it could be things like that. But for some people, they value all kinds of things. So for whatever you personally value, Scorpio, this is coming up for this, and it is a fourth house. And then you have this four. So the numerology is there. So we have this Four of Pentacles. It is telling me that Scorpio values their home, and there could be a little greed going on, but I don't see it as a warning, Scorpio. It is a warning a little bit. It is a warning a little bit, but we're going to get through this. So what I notice off the back is, yes, the Four of Pentacles with this four energy. So if that does relate to you, Scorpio, this is an individual who's very, very proud of the work that he's done. So proud that he's holding down the pentacles with his feet. He's got a really strong grip on the one, and then he didn't have any other hands, so he decided to balance the last pentacle on his head. So this is someone who has a lot going on for themselves. Like, you have enough. He's very happy about what he has, and he's kind of showing it off too. So that can apply to some of you Scorpios. You may have came into some money lately, or maybe you're just feeling like $1 million, and this is it's not a greedy card, it's a beware of greedy. But with you, Scorpio, we have this moon coming up, and it shows itself here in this Eight of Cups card. Now, I think you've got this card before with me, Scorpio, but for this to come up right after the Four of Pentacles, you know, it tells you to leave it all behind, because this is someone who is leaving all of this value behind just to go on a spiritual journey. He doesn't care what value is here because he's went inside himself. And Scorpio, you are a water sign, okay? So you're very, very emotional, whether you act like it or not. And you're very you're just fixed. So your emotions are more stable than Cancer and Pisces. But this is actually showing up for you, Scorpio, just like it did Cancer. You know, this is a spiritual journey. And I haven't done the reading for Pisces yet. So this may come up for Pisces. Maybe water signs are being asked to leave and go on a spiritual journey. There's a lot of spirituality happening right now, right? So as far as the fourth house energy goes, because we did call upon spirit to start with that, the lunar eclipse in Aquarius happening in your fourth house, right? So some of you may be leaving on a spiritual journey when it comes to the fourth house. Your home may be changing. You may be finding some type of spiritual home, some type of home that makes you feel very emotional and spiritual. And as far as the other messages go, this is just saying that, hey, Scorpio, you know, you've been really focused on your values and on your monetary gain lately. That, you know, some of you may have realized, you know, I don't really want to hog these pentacles anymore. I want to actually leave it all behind because I don't give a shit. Like, this is what this card is saying. Like, I don't care about the value and the gold. I want to go off and seek my own journey. And this is going to, you might be feeling this around that full moon. This is very interesting that the moon would show up here. So this is definitely bringing my attention to this moon on the 7th. You know, you may be feeling, emotions could be at an all-time high around that time. Eclipses are very trippy. They're very intense and powerful. This is a super moon we're talking about, and it's in the sign of Aquarius, which is the South Node. And the South Node is all about letting go. So interesting that this would come up for you. This is a very let it go energy. And with the full moon and the eclipses going on, those are all about new beginnings and endings. So Scorpio, you may be walking away from some things that have ended for you. Maybe once they were valuable for you. Maybe relationships and people were once valued to you. But you've just reached a point now in your life where, you know, the spirituality you have mysteriously in you, deep inside you intimately as a Scorpio. Sometimes we do have to leave what we've been surrounded by to form a greater knowledge and understanding about our journey. So this full moon is definitely going to invoke a longing feeling in you, Scorpio. And it's centered around spirituality. So we have this opposition going on here. And it's kind of a Taurus-Scorpio opposition. So some of you may be with a Taurus, even though the Taurus card isn't here. But I just see someone who's very all about money, and I see someone who doesn't give a crap about money. So you guys could be going back and forth about what money means to you, and is it that important? Is this worth my time? Some of you may be on a journey to self-worth, to where you understand that the materialistic things no longer matter. I know Scorpio is a very sexy sign. You know, you guys aren't materialistic, I wouldn't say. I have a North Node in Scorpio, you know, so I strive to be like Scorpio. I have my midheaven in Scorpio as well. So some Scorpios, you know, you may be really learning more about value. And if you've been around a Taurus, you know, someone who could be a little bit more grounded and greedy with their money and values because of the second house, you know, you may be compelled to kind of leave it all behind, Scorpio. You might be feeling like there's more for you in the mountains. You know, it looks like this man is like following the moon. He's like looking up at the moon, and the moon's like, hey, Scorpio, you need to leave all that behind and come play with me. And even more so, we have the Virgo card that comes up, the Hermit. And it's kind of like a hermit crab, you know, which is the fourth house. I have this card come up for Cancer as well. So I think in this circumstance, it's just talking about the hermit kind of feeling. This man is alone, and he's very covered up, he's very cloaked, but he's very, very wise beyond his years, right? Yeah, anytime you see this white beard in a man, you know, like, this man is not very wise. He has a lot to learn. That's why his face is like baby face, and he looks young. This kid looks, he's about 25 or something like that. And when we're 25, you know, I don't know how old you guys are, But around those times is when we're very working on our values and stuff. But it doesn't mean that there isn't room for this, because the universe is always turning, and there's always encouragement to evolve spiritually. So this is exactly what this card is about. This is an angel card. The Virgo is the angel of the zodiac. And you see how he has this light protected, right? He has this light inside this glass box, and he's holding his staff. And he's up in the clouds. He's not in a real realm here. So perhaps this is where you're leaving to, Scorpio. Perhaps you are leaving all of this ruckus behind and all of this loud materialistic stuff to just be alone for a while, you know? This is an isolation card. That's why I say that. Virgo has no problem isolating themselves. Virgo is not a very materialistic sign. I mean, you know, some Virgos can be, depending on what the moon and the rising sign is, but Virgo is the opposite sign of me. So Virgo is more so about lifestyle. It's more so about, it's very grounded, you know, but they're very adventurous, and they're a mutable sign. So the Virgo Hermit card comes up for you, Scorpio. It's just more of an escape for you. I think you need to get more in touch with the angel inside of you, the more in touch with your light side, which is why this light is very protected. So the universe is also telling me to tell you to protect your light more, especially around all these eclipses. You know, Scorpio, you guys have the light in the dark, and you have a pretty purity about your spirit, you know, which is probably why this spiritual journey in the Eight of Cups is coming up for you. We have the 4, and then we have the 8. That happened with Libra's reading just a minute ago. They had an 8 and a 4. So it's about this energy doubling, right? And you had that 4th house, and you are the 8th sign. So that is interesting. The 8 of Cups would come up for you. And, you know, this card feels very magical as well. There's a realm that you need to escape to, Scorpio. There is a feeling of isolation that needs to be accompanied. That's kind of ironic. Can't really accompany isolation, but you can with yourself. Like there's a version of you waiting, Scorpio. So for the most part, I think this full moon is going to make you want to spend some more time alone. And, you know, this card is not necessarily a greedy card, but it's more about my resources. Like, this man works for his resources. He earned those, okay? Why else would he be so proud of them? So, Scorpio, if you've been in, like, kind of, like, more dependent relationships where you don't really hold your own, this moon, you may bring up the idea of just being on your own. Because a lot of these cards say that. Like, this guy makes his money on his own. This guy has a spiritual journey to do on his own, and this guy is just straight up alone, okay? So as far as your money and values and your home and your spiritual journey, there is some isolation. There's some isolation that needs to happen. This is definitely walking away. I kind of wish there was people over here too, because I get that kind of feeling when I see the 8 of Cups that who knows what these cups represent. But it's just, no matter what, he's leaving it all behind, and it looks like he's leaving behind millions of dollars, you know, and that doesn't sound logical, but that's okay, because this is not a logical card. It's a spiritual card. So there is a spiritual journey right in between isolation and financial stability of oneself. So there's like a financial stability also being honed in on, and it's like you're walking away from that financial stability to be by yourself. That's what I just heard, Scorpio. And I'll give you a look at this because it literally does say that. And it's kind of backwards, but we have this card, which is walking away from financial stability to be alone. And it's kind of confusing, Scorpio, because at the bottom of your deck, hiding in the shadows, you have the 2 of Pentacles, which is a very up and down energy. And it's almost like it's balancing, okay? Libra got this card as well. So you may need to balance your alone time. If you don't feel balanced spiritually, or if you haven't been getting enough time alone, and if you don't feel balanced financially, then this moon is definitely going to show you where things could be more infinite and balanced, because this is all about balance and infinite. But there is the Sun card underneath that and the World card underneath that. And if you get deeper and deeper into your reading, Scorpio, there is some darkness really hiding in your reading. This was quite deep on the bottom of my deck. So, you know, this is just me intuitively showing you this, that the deeper and deeper you leave Scorpio, there are going to be things hiding in the, like, you guys are the shadow masters, okay? You are not afraid to travel in the dark because you, in a way, are that intimate darkness. So this darkness is coming up, and I don't even really feel scared to show you because I think you've been able to feel this. I mean, I don't know if you can see, but these are very, very dark cloud. Like, this is very dark energy, very dark. You can see the night, right? And this is the Nine of Swords and the Ten of Swords. So there's a synchronicity going on. It's like pain, more pain. But right after that is a celebration, the Three of Cups. And like I said, you know, before that, it was the sun in the world. So Leo season, the sun is changing your whole world, and that's for everybody right now because Leo is the North Node. So Leo is the fixed fire sign, and he, you know, Leo is definitely helping Scorpio. So we had a few messages in the dark as well. That's what I like to call these when tarot cards are on my table, but they aren't right side up. So you see these three cards, right? And the first one is the Page of Cups. So we have this man, and I think you've got this card before, Scorpio. We have this man just about to casually take a drink. And I'm going to apply these. I'm not going to apply this to the Mercury retrograde yet. We're going to get some cards for that after I finish these messages. But I think this is just piggyback messages about the full moon and the lunar eclipse. Because you see more spirituality happening. This fish could represent a Pisces. It could represent a spiritual energy. And yeah, this man's getting ready to take a drink, but someone from his subconscious pops out, and this fish and this man have a conversation. You see how they're both smiling, and I can just feel that there's a spiritual conversation happening. And for you, Scorpio, it's most likely going to take place when you take that spiritual journey, because you have the Eight of Cups, but then you have the Page of Cups, and any page energy is the starting of a new journey, okay? So when you go into your subconscious, and when all this lunar eclipse and solar eclipse happens, you will definitely be getting advice from your own intuition, from the intuition of others. You'll be diving deep into those waters. You know, you are a water sign, Scorpio. And as I say that, we have the Queen of Cups, which is a Cancer energy, a Pisces energy, or a Scorpio energy. This reminds me of a Scorpio because she's surrounded by water, but she's still that queen. You know, a Pisces, like, yeah, I know that there's a fish here, right? And that he's out of water. And that's only because he's not really there. Like, this is happening in that man's mind almost. But here we have, you know, what I was going to say is that if this was a Pisces woman, she'd be submerged in the water because we're like that. We are the fishes. So yeah, we'd be in that water. But Scorpio, the one thing that I admire about you is how you don't allow your emotions to get in the way of what you do. So any cup energy is very emotional. You know, cups can be filled with water. They can be filled with spirituality. So we do have a very spiritual feel here. The water is definitely flowing, but you're not submerged in it, Scorpio. You're still on your throne, and this is for the male Scorpio as well. There is a King of Cups, and he's even more badass. He has a fish around his neck, you know, symbolizing his intuition and his emotions. And this lady's definitely team water. Like, she has these mermaids and this shellfish and on her chair, her throne, and then she has this, you know, fish down here, a lot of fish pebbles and stuff like that. But the cup she's holding is almost a symbol of her emotions, and she has these dark angels. You know, it's the silhouette of an angel here. So that just symbolizes, Scorpio, that you see value and you see worth in the dark and the light, especially of your own emotions. So you could be balancing your own dark and light emotions with this full moon on the 7th, because there's just a lot of water for you. You know, like what I've told Cancer and what I'm going to tell you, Scorpio, is that I believe that this Aquarius full moon, super moon, is also going to affect not only Pisces, but all the water signs, because Aquarius is the water bearer. So they hold water and they pour it. They're the water bearer. So they bear water, you know. And then we have this Knight of Wands energy, right? So after that water and like emotional, spiritual energy, you can't ignore the fire that Scorpio has, because you're always ready for a battle. You see the salamander. So this may be when the Leo energy kicks in. So we might want to move on to the Mercury retrograde and the total lunar eclipse happening in your 10th house. Mercury retrograde, total eclipse in the 10th. So if you count Scorpio, Yes, Leo is your 10th house. So, this is where this fire energy is coming in. You're very protected. This may cause war. I do feel like it's a war over your emotions. So you may be getting in emotional battles with people around this full moon. These eclipses are going to be really, really intense. So just be careful about the battles happening, Scorpio. But you guys are the knights, so this is very you. I see that water actually steaming up with the fire that's going to be coming in. And it may cause some, fighting. It may make you feel more like a warrior. Whoa. All right. So these cards just popped out, Scorpio. And I'm just going to heed my intuition and show you. We have the High Priestess and the Soulmate card. Okay, this is the Six of Cups. So this is the past and the future. There could be some past and the future, some light and dark balance going on, Scorpio. Not sure why that just popped out, but it did. So you could have like a spiritual partner coming in or reuniting with like a spiritual partner. But just to keep things on the up and up, we're going to go ahead and ask Spirit for messages specifically for Mercury retrograde. Mercury retrograde for Scorpio. We have a Mercury retrograde in their 11th house. In Virgo. So let's see here. All right, let me hone in. Spirit, can we give Scorpio? Whoa, had some cards try to come out. We definitely have some like unions going on, Scorpio, like with a twin flame, with a soulmate type of thing. I definitely see that. Mercury retrograde. Come on, Scorpio. Oh, as soon as I said that, you are at the bottom. That's so interesting when that happens. It's so amazing. So, you're the death card, Scorpio. So, definitely could be some transformation. And here's this High Priestess again. So, Scorpio, you are secretly the High Priestess I'm feeling. You are the master of light and dark. So, we had Leo come out for you. So, this may be for the Leo eclipse or for when Mercury retrogrades in Leo. And then we had the Virgo card come out for you. So, those messages could apply to the Mercury retrograde as well because Mercury is retrograding in Leo and Virgo, but Virgo first. So we have the Strength card. Okay, this can be just a symbol of your actual strength and the angel infinity in you, Scorpio. This could be an angel coming to you to give you more strength. I definitely feel that, especially attached to the High Priestess card with the Hanged Man underneath that. So you may be waiting to become the High Priestess, Scorpio. You may be waiting for certain strength to become the High Priestess. But this is a Leo energy. So some of you Scorpios may be with a Leo. You may be a Scorpio with Leo energy, however this applies to you, but this is definitely coming up. And what I'm seeing is that in Leo season, there is the Page of Pentacles. So there's something being brought to you, Scorpio. You may have new job opportunities or someone may be wanting to give you a gift. This may be an actual gift of money, from a Leo or in Leo season. I definitely see that because there's two sunshiny cards. Like they're both filled with sun. So yeah, and it's like you're becoming balanced or something. Because you have the Six of Pentacles, which is a balanced finance. Okay, we had a lot of balancing energy with the Two of Pentacles as well. So we see this balance beam here. And we see that this man is feeding the hungry. So it's about the have and the have-nots. So as far as the have and have-nots, Scorpio, it's going to become balanced for you. Maybe you value what you do and what you don't have. This has been a long journey. So you may be pushed into a position. You could either be this man who has a lot of abundance, who is giving to people who are less fortunate than him. Or Scorpio, you could be recalling times when you were like this, because with a Mercury retrograde, it takes us back to the past. So of course, X is coming back. Any unfinished business, since the last Mercury retrograde. So I do see balance coming in for you as far as, and it's interesting that this came up with, remember when you had the Four of Pentacles, the greedy energy? Well, Scorpio is not greedy. Scorpio will help out and give when they can. So you may find yourself in a position of help this month, Scorpio. You may have to help a few people in need. I know I've definitely asked a few Scorpios for help. So yeah, we definitely have a few energies here. This is like a pretty thick deck. The Knight of Wands, the Queen of Cups, two cards that have come out. We have those two dark sword energies again. We have this celebration with God or an Aries, Three of Cups. Okay, so Aries is showing itself to you. You guys are both ruled by Mars. I do see some fighting though. These cards together are very interesting, Scorpio. It's energies going everywhere. You trying to stay on top because of that. And here's this have and have not energy. The Three of Cups knocked over and the two of Cups behind him. This is like the pessimist, optimist challenge, and it's all because of the emotions flowing in the background with this river. So don't get focused on what you lost, Scorpio, the blood and the sweat that you lost. Behind you in the shadows are two more cups of value. And we do have the Ace of Swords with the Taurus card. Okay, so some of you maybe with your opposite sign Taurus, and this is the Ace of Swords coming up for you, Scorpio, because you do have a lot of mental power this month. And there is a financial decision I'm seeing. It could be with that Taurus. This could be Taurus energy. Taurus is what I value. Scorpio is the values you share with others intimately. So there could be this Ten of Pentacles decision happening. Definitely new energy coming in. This is an earth figure. This could be a Capricorn. This could be a Virgo. This could be a Taurus. I see Taurus energy for Scorpio. As far as your emotions, Cancer, this is the Cancer card, and this is the Page of Swords. So your emotions are on the go. They're on the rise. And okay, we definitely have some of the same cards popping up. So with that Four of Pentacles greed energy, Scorpio, it's not that you're being greedy. I definitely see that now. This is other realmly. This is you feeling confident because you are aware of other realms. But don't miss the fact, we had both of these energies where it was hard to see something for what it is, right? There's this man who's caught up in what has lost. He doesn't see the pentacles, the cups behind him. And then we have this man so deep in thought about what he has over here that he's not seeing this otherworldly, spiritual, supernatural figure giving him even more value, right? So that might be why Taurus showed up for you. It also could be because Scorpio is in a very advice position right now. And we have that isolation energy coming up again, Scorpio. So there is a spiritual journey that you're being called on. And we have the attention being brought to either a Sagittarius or balanced energy. I do feel like this is more of a balancing of the emotion more so than a Sag, but you never know how these energies could apply. And there's a lot of angels as well. Virgo and Sag, like this is angels. So there are very positive angels coming to Scorpio this month to possibly aid you. And then we have these three cards showing themselves again. So there is new opportunities with work, and this may cause emotion is what I'm seeing. So, Scorpio, you're definitely going through some things right now, and it doesn't seem negative. It just seems like a few financial decisions that you have to make, probably because of the fourth house being lit up, right? So that's like your home, maybe some decisions with home. So I just want to go ahead and ask. I'm not sure if we totally got to the eclipse happening on the 21st. I'm going to go ahead and say that we didn't because there's like a lot of messages still wanting to come out. Ace of Swords. So Spirit, Universe, is there anything else you would like to tell Scorpio? We have a few more minutes. Any other profound messages for Scorpio that I may have missed? Scorpio, Scorpio, Scorpio. Messages for Scorpio. Okay, so at the bottom of the deck, we have some fast-moving energy coming in. And this is for everybody around this time of this full moon. And we definitely have the Ten of Cups with the Lovers card. So some of you Scorpios may be with a lover. This is a Gemini card. This is an air sign, a fixed air sign. So some of you may be with a Gemini. But whoever you may be with, this is just the Lovers card showing more angels coming in for you, paired with the Ten of Cups. The Ten of Cups is complete, happy, harmonious lifestyle. See this family and the smaller versions of them. This could be children and you pairing up with someone, and see how the emotions are very steady now. The emotions are very steady and actually a part of their home environment with the river flowing very, it's like a pond and a river. And we see the trees. So this is very earth and water. So whatever that might mean, and maybe that Taurus and that the Scorpio energy that I feel. But the Ten of Cups is showing itself for you, Scorpio. So there is abundance and harmony. There is no 11 of Cups card. So this is like, besides the Ace of Cups, this is the Ten of Cups. It's such a fulfilling feeling. It's harmony in the home. So with this with this fourth house moon happening, your home may be getting much happier because we have the Nine of Pentacles with justice. So this may be justice coming in for your money. This may be, you know, finances coming to you with this Mercury retrograde and things like that. This could be, and I think that's retrograde in your 10th house. Well, you have a Mercury retrograde in your 11th house. So that's more so the people and places and groups that you work with, your community. But the total solar eclipse is in your 10th house of legacy and career. So interesting that this is Pentacles, you know, and Pentacles that you surround yourself with. The Nine of Pentacles is a very, very hardworking woman, and she has an abundant garden, you know. So this is just justice coming paired with this energy, you know. So if some of you Scorpios don't feel like you have a really lovely home, you know, that is what's changing. If some of you are looking for love, you know, that is definitely coming in for you, Scorpio. And there is some sword energy that we're gonna in these messages with, and it's the Knight of Swords and the Queen of Swords. So what I feel is that the need, some of you may be going back and forth between action, you know, like this is the Queen of Swords paired with the Knight of Swords. So the Queen of Swords, you know, she's a decision maker, but she's a lot less quick than the Knight of Swords. Like the Knight of Swords has already sat down and thought about the decision, and now he's going to invoke it. So this is a pretty cloudy, stormy energy. Their faces are very worried. They're on their way to a battle, you know. And with the Queen of Swords, you know, she has the clouds on her cape. She has the angel, and the clouds are really not that scary in this picture. It's more clear skies with that bird flying. But, you know, yeah, there's definitely like a sitting, like, do I sit or do I fight? So whatever that might mean to some of you Scorpios, it's like going back and forth between what should I do about this decision. Should I just be that mental figure that sits here? This is like an air energy. This is coming up with this, you know, maybe that Aquarius moon or something like that. But you're being put in a very mental, this could be Mercury retrograde, you know, this is stabilized thoughts. But are you going to sit there, Scorpio, or are you going to do something about it? And that's all up to you, you know, depending on, I know Scorpio is a very envied sign right now. So for some of you Scorpios, you know, you could be dealing with people jealous. You know, I did pull the Two of Pentacles twice just now, opening my deck. So you guys seem very abundant right now and very fulfilled. And here's that greed card. So the Ten of Pentacles and the Four of Pentacles, Scorpio, you may need to get greedy with the money that you're making. If you've been helping a lot of people out, maybe that's part of the reason why you're going on this fight. Because Scorpio is just getting, you know, a lot of blessings right now. With this new moon, with these eclipses and stuff like that, you know, it's very, very abundant. And then there's this spiritual journey showing itself again. So there may be a lot of things showing you, Scorpio, that you need to detach. Part of getting everything that you want is realizing what you don't want. So, you know, you maybe have to leave some things spiritually. We have the Aquarius card. Okay, some of you may be with an Aquarius. Some of you this may be focusing on the Aquarius full moon coming up on the 7th. It could be just you needing to follow your intuition, you needing to multitask. This is the Aquarius card. It's very beautiful. I'm glad that it's showing itself to you. And you see this star, see these stars and how there's one. It's just showing you how unique you are, Scorpio, and that's even going to amplify around the time of this moon. So I definitely see a lot worth fighting for. So I'm not even surprised that this Knight of Swords is showing up. It just shows me that Scorpio is willing to fight for what they have. It may be an emotional fight, but either way, there is a very, very profound new beginning, okay? Very, very new beginning coming, Scorpio. We have the new beginning Fool card and the transformation Death card. This is your card. This is the Scorpio card, and this is speaking to transformation, rebirth, and for it to be paired with the Fool card. Whew, Scorpio. It may be a little crazy right now, but as far as your reading goes, it's like a very fixed, you know, I just know, I can feel that you guys will handle this well, and hopefully some of the messages here got through to you and were relatable. I do want to say that if any of you need extra guidance, or if you would like me to pull personal cards for you, I would be so happy to do that. I really don't charge right now. I haven't made it that far. I love reading tarot though, and I love this gift. So it wouldn't bother me at all to pull a couple of extra cards for you guys, and if any of the messages weren't clear enough for you. So go ahead and give me a comment below, or you can find me on Facebook. My name is Braylon Janae Caldwell. I'll try to put that somewhere in the comments. Maybe I can like even share the link in my Facebook or something, because I'm very reachable there. Or on Twitter and Instagram, I am Pisces Priestess, like my YouTube. So I'm definitely out in the social media field, and I definitely love reading tarot. So if there's anything I can do to help, let me know. Message me, whatever you want, guys. I love Scorpio, water signs all the way. And we will talk more in September. All right, have a great August, you guys.